It'll be 1 to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Louis Frank, ESPN.com. Jimmie, after Chicago Joliet, you got beat at the end. At any point today, because you might have had some time to think about it, did you say to yourself, I'm not going to get beat again today?
Yeah. Glad it worked out. We weren't going to bring race cars back, the way it boiled down in my mind on this last restart between Carl and I. You know, I went through my mind and the mistakes I made at Chicago, and got a great restart, got a gap on Carl. Here you can draft better than any other downforce track we run on, so I knew that off of 2 I needed some ground on him, and I was able to get through 1 and 2 well and get 4 or 5 car lengths on him to where he couldn't suck up to me, and that Hendrick power just did its job down the straightaway, and we kind of stalled out at that gap. He'd catch me in 1 or 2 of the corners, but then the other 2 corners I'd pull back away, and we kind of stabilized, and it was all good then. I just didn't want a caution. I didn't want a green, white, checkered. You know, I did my work. I just wanted to finish up.
Jimmie, Dave Rowe from the Fan 960. A lot of people are using words like disaster and debacle for it today, but if you look at it, there was passing on the track. There was passing for the lead on the track. You had a storyline, a little bit of drama with whether or not you were going to get through or run out of tires, and a battle on pit road and some good racing at the end. I mean, was today really as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be?
Well, I think there was a lot of passing. I know that I had to pass a lot of cars, so it had to be entertaining on television. When we had the green flag, I can honestly say nobody wanted to be in this position. Goodyear, NASCAR teams, drivers, owners, nobody wanted to be in this situation, but the situation that we had, I have to commend NASCAR in handling today like they did. I'm sure it was long and boring at times, but NASCAR called a great race. They kept us from tearing up race cars for no reason. We had a couple guys blow tires out, but I think as an entire sport, we did everything we could today, and we've learned a lot. We'll take our lumps, I'm sure, and come back next year and put on a better show.
Tony Fabrizio, Tampa Tribune. Chad, Jack Roush said that you said that this tire would be okay. I don't know what he meant by that because you weren't one of the teams that tested, but what's your reaction to that?
Kind of cool he listens to what I say, I guess. Guess we got him thinking, don't we? No, I didn't say that. So, I mean, we didn't test here. The ADA did test. You know, this place is very difficult to test, but, you know, one thing that I want to put out there real quick, you know, everybody's going to point fingers at Goodyear and say Goodyear did a horrible job of assessing the tire and bringing the tire, and yes, maybe they did make a mistake, but, you know, you can't put all the blame on Goodyear because this car is a relatively unknown piece, especially coming to a racetrack like this where the surface is so abrasive. And, you know, everybody has to realize that this car has about 45% or about 50% of the downforce that we had of the cars that we've had here in the past. And there's really only 5 things that keep a race car on a racetrack, and that's your 4 tires and downforce. And so to think that Goodyear can overcome that much, really with the little bit of testing that they had, I think they did an okay job. Because they thought that they were going down the same path that we had last year. So, you know, they're doing a great job collectively. I think Goodyear is. You know, so I don't think people should stick it to them too hard. You know, they're doing a pretty good job.
Rick, their job is to win the race, and their job is to deal with the conditions that are handed to them. But you're a race fan too.
Yeah.
And this is the second biggest race of the year. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it was like playing a Super Bowl in a mud bowl or something. It just came off as an odd day. From the race fan perspective, do you understand why I'm getting emails blowing up my email right now, but saying this was a joke?
Yeah, I mean, sure, and I feel like we had a car that if we could have raced all day hard, it would have. I think the results would have been the same, but because we were really good. But I understand the fans, and I think what we may have to do with this car is we may have to test at the tracks with all the cars to find out what we really need, because you can't come and just do it with 2 or 3 cars in a tire test. And a race this big, we should have everybody here in test. And I think especially with this car, because this is a different animal, and I can understand the fans, and I really do. And we wanted to run, you know, we didn't want to go through this either, because, you know, as a in a chase with a team that's in the chase or in the middle of it, maybe not completely safe in points. Do you stay out? Do you take two? Do you run that extra lap? Do you take a chance of getting the car into the fence when they say, I know I'm using up the right rear? I don't think anybody had any choice after we got here. This was it.
David Newton, ESPN.com. This is for Jimmie and Chad. I was talking to Rick earlier, and he was saying that I guess you guys everybody tested at Nashville around the first break and canceled their plans and everything to do that. And he canceled his plans, too, to be there with you guys. What did that mean for the organization, that they not only to have all you guys there, but to have the owner there behind you?
Okay, I'll take it. I actually thought it was pretty cool because we had a 48 car there, and we had seat molds made for all of the drivers. So all the drivers drove the 48 car, and they all drove the car within, I think it was like a couple hundredths of a second of the lap time. So I got the data sheet that shows all their lap times and all that stuff in a 48 car. So I got that, and I've got it framed. That was kind of cool. But as far as showing the dedication of Hendrick Motorsports, we've talked about it time and time again. The resources that we've got there, although not unlimited, they will buckle down and do whatever they have to do to try to make things happen. And that was something that Rick called and asked for us to try to do collectively to try to get our organization running better. And man, everybody dug in deep. We had the R&D team there. We had people trying to find tires, buying tires, cars getting set up, people working day and night to get everybody there to try to really assess what we had for driving style, cars, setup style, shock absorbers, everything. And I think it's definitely paid off. I think it's paid off for everybody because when all of those guys were able to get in each other's race cars, it kind of gave them a little bit of a security feeling, saying, you know what, I'm feeling the same thing he is, and I've got the same complaints that he does, but he's adjusting this way. And I could go and talk to Alan Gustafson and say, hey, what's going on there? How are you getting that to work? And then Alan could tell me what he was doing. So it was great effort, and it was a good call by Mr. H to have us all there.
Yeah, I mean that that test session was great to see the company work together as a whole. I can also say that individually the teams have been doing a lot of testing. I've tested more this year than any other year that I've been in at the Cup levels. So it's just been a full assault from every angle at Hendrick Motorsports to get it right. And the tests that we did have in Nashville, as Chad pointed out, to get in each other's cars, I can't fit in Jeff's car and I can't fit in Casey's car, but I hopped in Junior's car and drove it, and I understand his driving style a lot better now, and I think it's helped our relationship. And then all the other three guys could get in our car, and it's good stuff to have. You don't have that opportunity. After all the years of driving for Hendrick, I've never driven a 24 car, never felt a 24 setup. I don't think I will because he's such a small guy and I can't get in a seat, but at least he can come get in my car, and we can try to bridge that gap.
I think to give these guys credit too, Jimmie and Shanny had friends, and they were going to Florida, and he and Chad decided they were going to test, and the friends went on and Shanny went on, and I happened to be down there, and he tested every day, and it rained here, and they'd move from Nashville to Kentucky, and they did whatever they had to do, and he flew in at night and then get up early and take off in the morning, and then this last break, Chad had lined up to go fishing with us, and he called me up and he said, I can't go. I'm just going to stay here and work. And I think we had Coach Jerry Moore from Appalachian come talk to us last week, and it's about desire and dedication and who wants it the most. And I called Chad out in front of Coach Moore. I said, Chad, are you going to win this championship, the third one for us like Appalachian? He said, I'm going to do my best. And Coach Moore said, that might not be good enough. And then Chad said, he better be glad I'm not coaching football in his league.